And if you stay in the mist, you gon' be soaked. So listen up, cause this hair of the dog, what's real, what ain't? Is this the fog or smog? Cause there's a difference when you breathe it in. So don't let the corporate media take you for a spin. This that morning show, they put you in the know. So I hope that you ready, cause all we do is go, go, go. Yeah, come get your info, you gon' be like, whoa. Hair of the dog, we bout that, ayy. We in the zone, we out here, yeah. Spitting the facts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hair of the Dog. I'm Andy Kennedy. It is Wednesday, and we have a great show for you today. We have a special guest, and our guest is going to be just on the other side of my border between Windsor and Detroit, Ontario and Michigan. But before that can happen, I need to introduce my lovely and talented co-host, Miss Kerri Barber. Good morning, Kerri.
Hey, good morning, Andy. Just a real, very quick rant. For those of you who still are doubting climate change and all of those things, let me make it very clear. It is the end of March, and it is snowing in the desert today. Snowing. So for those of you who still don't understand the effects of climate change, it means all of our weather patterns have gone completely to shit. So yeah, we're expecting 6 inches of snow today. Mind you, it is the high desert, but it's snow in the desert in March.
And so, it was 60 degrees here yesterday.
Yeah, we had 65, 70, 70, 70, and now we're back down to 30. So this is typically the high wind season in this area, but now we have high wind, sleet, and snow on top of everything. So,
gotcha. So at some point last night while we were sleeping, North America flipped.
That's exactly right. And you had called Texas Southern Canada, and yeah, yes. That's where we're at. So yeah, good morning. And if this is your first time joining us, where the hell have you been? We're on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and so happy to be here. And in fact, we are live and interactive. So if you want to weigh in, you want to complain, you want to offer some suggestions, share a dad joke. See if you can beat Andy at the dad joke. We will see those comments, so go ahead and type it in. There's a link that I had just posted in the comments, particularly on our Facebook or on our Twitter page. We see all of those comments and we will read them out here. I don't care if you keep it clean. It's whatever. So
well, we don't.
We don't. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, because we do have a lot to talk about, and I am personally super excited to have Rome on our show, because we don't get to see Rome very much here because he's working odd hours. So our team meetings are kind of quiet without Rome joining us. So Rome, good morning. How are you?
You know me, I'm just a hot nigga pie. I'm doing cool.
He's all tired.
Yeah.
You worked a full shift, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
See, okay, so we have the subdued Rome this morning. So yeah,
I worked before I retired in 17. I worked 18 years of midnight shift, and there's nothing more demoralizing than having to travel east home while the sun is coming up and burning your retinas when all you think of the radio guys going, it's gonna be a great day today.
You gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, like fuck off. I just don't want to get my bed.
That's exactly. So we won't keep you too terribly long this morning, Rome. But first things first, we want to talk about this huge event that you have coming up on Friday. This is kind of a big deal. So what is this? You've got a community cookout. What does that mean?
It means that I'm just trying to subliminally push socialism in my community. This is why I'm getting everybody here to basically brainwash them and to really following socialism and communism. Show them, because it's always sometimes it's the littlest things that can get people to follow your word. And even if some of these people see me, most of these people know that I don't even own a car yet. You know, so they see me walking through the neighborhood doing this and that, and even from Bernie to the Green Party and shit like that. They know, like, okay, well, he stands for what he believes in. So when I'm actually getting things together, I'm actually bringing the community together. They're like, all right, this nigga, he really about this shit. So this is what it's really all about. I'm just trying to really brainwash people into communism, because, you I know I shouldn't use the word brainwash or whatever, but it's the truth. And this is how we fight fire with fire. This is how we learn. This is how the CIA taught our people, and shit like that. I'm just trying to fight fire with fire, and using a little money that I can, using the resources that this capitalist society have gave me, and create my negotiation table full of socialists.
So there were a couple things you said that are pretty interesting. First, I can't help but compare it to the Fred Hampton model, right? We saw Fred Hampton doing this, particularly in Chicago. They were handing out food for kids, medical care for the community, all of this sort of thing. So you're calling it communism, but isn't that just caring for your neighbors?
I mean, yeah, that's what communism is all about. But we're gonna put, how humans love to be on a team or feel like they're a part of something like that. So this is the best way that I can be anti-American and and pro-human. This is the only title that I have. And I know a lot of Americans, older Americans, don't see this title as a good thing, but it's gonna take people like me or you to actually go out there and say, look, this is what socialism is. Some of you old motherfuckers are on Social Security, and I kept saying it to somebody that some old guy was on my Twitter page talking about communism leads to fascism. I was like, I bet your old ass on Social Security. He's like, you're gonna attack me as a person or something like that, and blah blah blah. Then I said it again. I bet your old ass on Social Security. So, and somebody was like,
oh wait, that's my money, Rome. That's my money, my Social Security, my Medicare.
No, it's we put in that money. We put in that money, and what they do, they cut that shit and give it away. You better off playing a lottery than going into Social Security.
In some respects. So let's your event, right? You said something interesting here. Living the message, walking the talk. Like, you don't own a car, but here you are gathering stuff for people who are homeless, and you're pledging to feed everybody who shows up. So that's why wouldn't you just do this for yourself, for your family? Why are you so worried about everybody else?
Because if everybody else is good in my community, I can be good. Once we are on a even playing field, then we'll be able to lift each other up. Because if you don't have a foundation, you can't build on that. How can you build on the shaky ground? So first we have to get our people straight, and then we can move up as people. It's not just about my family, because if that was the case, I would have been made enough money. I could have took these donation monies and just said fuck it and move somewhere where I can build me a hut or something like that, or live off the grid. But,
well, then you'd be like Brooklyn Dad, right?
Yeah, I'm getting paid to keep making Twitter pages and harass Jack.
Exactly. So I read this before, I think it was last week, and I wanted to read it again. I loved what you wrote up on your GoFundMe page, and I put the link here. First off, you have surpassed your goal significantly. So kudos to everybody who's pitching in for this effort. That I think is speaking to the community, right? That the people matter. But it was what you wrote on here that I thought was it was very powerful. So I'm going to read a little bit, and I want you to kind of expand on it. So you said, growing up here in Detroit, I witnessed my government abandon and neglect my people. I can remember people crying at city council meetings because they needed help where a city said their hands are tied. I watched as they defunded our education system and went bankrupt trying to build new prisons. My old neighborhood is just a shell of what it was. And don't let the media lie to you. The East Side was just like any other city. We have beautiful parks, after school programs, kids clubs, and many other things to keep our kids off the street. And that is all gone now. So Rome, that was only part of what you wrote. And I think it was so powerful because what we hear on one side about Detroit in particular is that, oh, those people just messed it up. They trashed the city. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. So do you want to go through that? I mean, because you grew up in this area, you got to see the change in just a short amount of time.
Yeah. See, this is where, schools being funded with property taxes come in at. Almost nobody here owns a house. Probably the boomers, but no millennials own a house here that I know of. So when we are getting raised in these, we are being raised in these welfare communities, these red line communities, we don't have much. We can't keep it up. With not only that, our city is spending money where it don't need to be. They are spending money on police, where the police have new cars almost every 2 years, something like that. Always have the newest gadgets and stuff like that. But our kids in these schools have the same books from when my mother was in school. So growing up through all this, we see that, okay, well, we don't have enough money from property taxes, so this school will have to go because it's going to get we're going to defund it so much that you might as well knock it down. It's just a brick building. So they knocked down my second elementary school, my Imhotep. Then they knocked down Greenhouse. There was a high school. They was going to knock down Osborne, but Detroit was like, oh no. Like almost everybody went to Osborne, Eminem, Esham, ICP, everybody was getting up in arms about it. It was like, why are y'all knocking down all these schools on the east side of Detroit? But then we see where this money is going. They just put money into a prison on Mound and McNichols. They build onto a prison. Then they build on to the prison that was downtown. But the guy who owns the casinos downtown don't like the prisons downtown because 2 white older women got stabbed to death by a prisoner that just got released. So they try to build on to like outside of downtown, like right before downtown. $110 million they spent on just concrete and poles, and our city went bankrupt. This was, I was just getting on probation, so this was like 7-8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And since then, man, my city, it's like if you walk, if you're not from here, there's no way you're gonna walk up a block or two, on Cedar Grove, Troster, anywhere in the red zone, mm-hmm. And we see all this money being spent on bullshit, and the governor, she act like she give a fuck, but she don't, and like I did a report on the concrete that they keep laying down. Like, I don't know, man. It's just everything fucked up, the infrastructure, everything. They don't care. The thing is, like, I thought older blacks were conspiracy theorists when they were telling us, they want us out of Detroit. But now it wasn't just older blacks saying this. One of our mayors was saying this, and when he was telling us how we shouldn't let the white man get the water, don't let the white man get the water. Mm-hmm. And when Flint let the white man get the water, when Michigan let white man get the water, he poisoned our people, and I don't know.
Right. Well, you bring up a good point about Flint, and people, they know the story of what happened after, but not how we got there. And part of it was Nestle had gone in and promised to give them just a little bit of money for a new well.
I think it was paying a penny a ton for a ton of water, half a penny for a ton of water, I believe.
Right. And on the backside, they were saying, well, we'll give you some money for a new well. And there you go. You get that for the people. We're going to get the water. And then we see what happened as a result of all of the decisions that were made at city council. But I remember about a decade ago hearing about the Detroit Art Museum, which at its core was a beautiful museum with original works of art, just a world-class art museum. And they defunded it. The city didn't have enough money. So what they ended up doing was selling it to private collectors.
Yep.
So here is a very clear example of that redistribution of the wealth of culture. You take it away from the public venue and you sell it to wealthy private investors from all over the world. And nobody really said anything. And I remember just being outraged and heartbroken, but the media didn't cover it that way. And local Detroit, some people were like, this is a tragedy, but that was not the narrative that was coming out. It was like, see, it was all these people here ruined it for everybody. It keeps coming back to blaming, victim blaming, I think is appropriate here. So
they act like our people, like, yes, we do kill each other. We shoot each other. Humans do that. Put white people around white people, they're going to do that. Black people around black people, they're going to do that. But not only, like, this is not, they don't do this because they hate their city. They hate each other. They hate themselves. They do it because this is all they know. This is all they got. If you have more than me, I'm going to take it. It don't matter if you're next door or around the corner, especially when I have nothing to lose. I have everything to gain. My government doesn't give a fuck. The city doesn't give a fuck. Why should I give a fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have all these all these ingredients put together and you stir it up, put a little water on it, you put a little season on this shit, you got that's a badass meal, that you're cooking up right there. And when these people feel like this, we have to give them, like, it's many people that feel like this right now in Detroit that I know personally. Like, man, I don't even know why you fighting so hard. They telling me, I don't know why you fighting so hard. The government don't give a fuck. Nigga, I ain't fighting for the government. I'm fighting to make sure you give a fuck about each other. Like, we got to do what we got to do because we all we got.
Right. So just real quick, good morning to Amber. Amber says hello this morning. She's weighing in from Washington State, and she said, yes, the weather is definitely changing. And she's very happy about this conversation we're having, particularly austerity in Detroit. So, Rome, you just brought up a good point. It's kind of the narrative that we've been discussing here on various topics, but it's about community building because, as we can see in Congress, they don't care about us.
No.
They don't need to. And Andy, you said it many times that they're only catering to their donor class and what the donor class wants. So it leaves just us, that Richard Pryor, it's just us, right? So that's Detroit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there was, you can point to specific events that have occurred with, the manufacturing sector that is basically left, right? And because Michigan and specifically places like Detroit and Flint were huge manufacturers, Motor City, the whole concept of auto factories everywhere in this region, right? And they left.
Yep. And
they didn't have a plan to help the community when those jobs disappeared.
Yep.
Right? We understand that in 2008, in the great financial crisis, that Black people lost 80% of their wealth.
Yeah.
And, so
say it again, Andy.
80% of
it's already bad enough.
Their
we
wealth.
didn't really have wealth. We just had wealth on the Black scale. And that's horrible. Like,
right.
Yeah. We don't have any money to help with infrastructure and making people whole and improving schools in Michigan, but yet they turned around and had enough money to build a new arena for the Red Wings,
Yeah.
Right.
They had enough money to build this brand new park at the river.
We had to go and protest at the Red Wings Arena because they were hiring, no beef to my Latino people, but they were hiring illegal immigrants and whatnot. But they promised, they had a contract with us that they will hire black people from Detroit, from certain area codes. But what they did was went out to whoever land and got some illegal immigrants. And when we went up there, we was looking like, okay, something is wrong here. So we started asking these people, how much you getting paid? Okay. It's like, man, tell me, man. Because we can help each other out. These motherfuckers getting paid $2 a day type shit.
Are you kidding me?
$1.50 a day. Yes, I'm like,
but everybody wants to go after the people, not the people who are paying
right.
them.
This is slavery, man. This is slavery. We're trying to tell them how, just because, like, look, man, this American dream is a nightmare.
Yep.
And if you have to go into slavery to get it, it's not worth it, man.
Wow. So there is another example. So getting back to your event here, you're just one guy trying to do something for this area, this community that you know. What kind of response are you getting from folks?
Shit. It's positive. More likely, I'm just trying to make sure everybody, I'm just trying to make sure there ain't no shootouts at the end of the day. Because I know bringing people together ain't always the best thing in a city like this. But we ain't here for that, and I'm gonna have to probably shoot one of their asses to come down to it. But that's my main. The main thing I hear on the ground is people like, oh man, that's what's up. Thank you, and this and that. A lot of people already know, like, this is what I do, and they don't want to keep patting me on their damn back. So.
But there was something.
It's all nonchalant, really, but everybody cool about it. I'm just hoping that I get the best outcome. That I don't think anybody's gonna show up. This is what's in my mind. But okay. I'm just hoping enough people show up to get, what they need. Even if I don't give away everything, at least people will get what they need. I'll go up there every day and just stand out there until the rest of the shit is gone.
But you said something earlier in this conversation I thought was very telling, and I don't want to pick on anybody, but I do want to bring up this example. You said that you're out there every day and people see you and they know that that's what you're about and they're willing to support. We had another example, and again, I don't want to name names, but another example where that people thought that they were going to organize something, but they didn't have it wasn't necessarily clout, but they didn't have credibility, right? Like, if you've never seen me do something for the homeless and all of a sudden I'm out there in front of cameras talking about I'm going to do something for the homeless, you're probably not going to respond to me and everybody's going to stand back and watch, well, are you really about this? So that is something that organizers need to be particularly mindful of, especially if you, let's be honest, if you're ego driven and you're a clout chaser, it's not going to work. But you have been out here doing it for a long time, and not just activism. You have been covering news stories. You have been in direct action. You were out in front of the Capitol building. You and Anthony had a direct action talking to, what were they, Proud Boys or militia members that were protesting?
Everybody was out there, QAnon. It was everybody.
So it's just you and Anthony Clark, two black men standing in front of a bunch of armed militia folks. Why were you there? Why would you bother?
I mean, shit, I always keep my gun, but they ain't want none. They thought I was there for them until I started talking to them. Like, it was like, oh shit, and people was like, oh, 5G towers and
not 5G.
That was a crazy ass day. They was trying to rush in the building, and man,
they actually rushed the Capitol that day.
They tried. They was acting like they was going to, but no, ain't shit pop off.
Nice. Well, so therein again is you living that message, practicing what you preach. So this is where the credibility comes from. So let me ask you now, we can't stream to your Twitter channel. What happened to your Twitter?
I don't know, man. I know. I ain't gonna lie. On that one, I deserve that one. But normally I don't. Like the one time I put up that one video, I didn't even say nothing. I literally said nothing. But Joe Biden said, "You ain't black shit." All I did, I put up a video. I did this.
Okay, so people don't like the message, right?
But
so
I did tell Benjamin Dixon is on site, but I didn't use any fighting words. I thought I used the right keywords, but then he ran to the Twitter gods, and I guess he a part of TYT and SNBC, so they're gonna listen to him. So it is what it is.
So it's censorship. Can we just call it what it is? Censorship. So you have one journalist who doesn't have the backing of corporate media, right? And if you go out and look at Twitter's policy, the way they talk about journalists will have a blue check. And it sounds good on the surface, but when I went through, you have to be vetted by corporate media boards in order to get that check. So an organization like ours, where we have credible journalists, where we have union news guild members, we're not going to get that same shake that MSNBC or Dixon is going to get.
So hell, fuck no, because they don't want. Imagine a person like me with some type of backup on Twitter. They're gonna be like, hell no. They're gonna either take my check away or they're gonna take my page away. Because I mean, even if I do tone it down, like I don't. First of all, I don't ever imagine me toning it down. So I think that's just like hopes and dreams to everybody. Like, or maybe one day he'll get older and like no. Second of all, Twitter can suck my dick. I'm my own man. Like it's nothing that you can do to stop me. Like even if they was to ban me on some Trump shit from every fucking site ever, I'll still be on the ground. Like there is nothing you can do to stop me. Even if you was to shoot me in my head, people got my videos and shit like that. My words will live forever. So yeah. Fuck them.
So you had a pretty significant following on Twitter. How do people reach you now?
Oh shit, I'm back on Twitter.
Oh,
well, I'm back on Twitter, but my last Twitter did get taken down, but I was right back up. Same day. Rome unholy Rome, something like that.
Okay. So your following persists. Rome cannot be knocked down. I will say that I have been censored. Other journalists have been censored, and I am probably the least offensive of most of our team besides Andy. Andy's very.
Wait a minute. I can be offensive. Can't I?
No.
Just because I'm Canadian and I say I'm sorry before I tell you you're an idiot doesn't mean I can't be censored.
Right.
No offense, but I'm about to offend you.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's happening to all of us. And I think in particular, like our network struggles with the algorithms, but we're seeing it everywhere. So Rome, in your perspective, everybody talked about Trump and Trump being insulting, and then you had the parlay takedown. But what's really happening, correct me if I'm wrong, is it's independent media and independent voices.
Yeah. Like I don't give a fuck about who says what. Like at a certain point, some people are really gonna get dealt with. Like if you really say some dumb shit on the internet and the motherfucker really wants you, we got enough tools to dox you, to find you. If not, map out where you live, like, and wait for you to, type shit. Like, if people wanted you, they can get you. But to sit here and to censor people because, he's a right wing, he's a left wing, he said this, people don't see the danger. This is dangerous, man. This is dangerous. You can be a Nazi, you have the right. You can be whatever the fuck you want. And I give you all rights to let you say what the fuck you want. But guess what? You just don't have the freedom from consequence. Say what the fuck you want. But if you get on the internet and say, I raped this woman, okay, investigate that motherfucker. You can't just say that type of shit. No, other than that, these motherfuckers just going crazy. They trying to silence everyone little by little. They picking us off. It's gonna be the right wing. Oh, well, the right wing going now the hard left is going wild. Okay, now the hard left is going. Who the fuck is it gonna be besides these blue check motherfuckers?
You know, well, isn't that the goal?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. The problem is as they start to take voices that speak out against the elites in society, there's nobody left to talk about them, right? Or then all you've got is cat videos, and I fucking hate cat videos.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Don't mess with the cats.
Because that one Twitter page they had taken down cats in places where they don't supposed to, or I forgot the name now, but cats in places in weird places, some shit. That was a nice Twitter page. They took that page down for no reason.
Wow. So they censored the cat. But yes. So here's my question to you, right? So they're censoring what they call far left or far right or whatever. To me, I feel like that is people who don't know enough about policy and politics to be able to push back. Like I would have Ben Shapiro on our show, and in fact, I need to send him another invite. I would have him on our show, no problem, because I don't have any angst about anything you'd say, because I know I can counter it reasonably, rationally. I can do it from the conservative point or the progressive, whatever. But
they're brainwashing our children. Why the fuck you letting your children watch this shit?
Right. Be a better parent. Yeah.
Shit, we got parental guides. We need parental guides on children and old people. It ain't just the children. Why the fuck you still watching MSNBC? Why the fuck you still watching CNN, Fox News? You don't think that shit brainwash you? Shut up. Y'all just want something to complain about. Y'all's the same shit. Talk about Eminem a fucking demon or some fucking bullshit like that, or Mickey Mouse is a fucking is witchcraft. Don't get the fuck on.
Right.
I ain't listen to these motherfuckers. Talking about censorship. These motherfuckers been trying to. Man, these people been trying to shut people up for years. And now that they got government control, I mean, like, even if, like, this all this is going to do is going to cause riots. It's going to cause riots. When people only know how to put themselves out there on the internet, like, you will meet somebody who will tell you their whole life on their Facebook, but don't know how to present themselves in real life. You have some people just like that. And when they can't get their fucking words out, when they can't fucking speak their mind and their heart, shit is going to get intense. So now you got, people that don't like blacks, don't like whites, don't like Latinos. If they can't say it, then they're going to spray it, So
that's exactly right. Exactly right. So 2 comments come in. Amber says, it's an indictment of our federal government, who is complicit and culpable in allowing the social and economic bankruptcy of great cities like Detroit. We need to empower ourselves with knowledge of our public first. Thank you, Amber. She talked about MMT. And then Mr. Magic weighs in. He says, great interview. I'm sure he's talking about you, Rome. So,
oh man.
Yeah. So my question is for you, and here's where probably we're going to get censored, because I really want to have this conversation with you. We have 147 seditionists sitting in Congress, while you are getting suppressed on Twitter, and the rest of us are getting algorithmed to death. Is that not a problem? Right?
Hell yeah, because it's a problem when the people, like, I understand when you do this shit to officials, government officials who say some Nazi type shit, or even go too far with the Black Power type shit, like, oh, Black people should be separated from white people type shit. Like, all right, nigga, chill. Even if you feel like that, chill. I understand that, because they will be held to a higher degree than me. I'm just some nigga on the fucking, like, okay, I'm a journalist and this and that, yes. But in all reality, I am just some nigga from Detroit. You know, when they censoring me, they really act like I'm a big threat.
Well, you are, Rome. I don't think you recognize it because you understand macroeconomics better than a PhD level person in the suburbs. That makes you dangerous. There used to be all of those t-shirts and flags or whatever warning educated Black men, right?
Yeah.
That's you. And I don't think that you recognize the power that you have just by having taken the time to educate and ask why. Why are things going on like this? Why is the money like this? Why?
I mean, if it got anything to do with me, it's only because of people like y'all. Because I've been saying shit for years, and until I got me an audience behind me, you know, they ain't never even thought about censoring. You know, so once you know, it's y'all that's making a nigga dangerous. It ain't got shit to do with me. Like shit, people been saying this shit for years, but I guess it depends on your teacher and your messenger or whoever the fuck you want to be the face of your movement and whatnot. Because a lot of people a lot of people are tired of white progressives, white male progressives, like the neck bearded guys. No offense, man. You know, I'm talking about the neck bearded guys, Americans. They tired of them, you know. They think that they know everything. Debate me, bro. I keep telling these motherfuckers, my life ain't for debate, nigga. I'll kill your
ass. Right? Yeah, your lived experience. So, with this now, let's get into the squad. Let's actually talk about it, because here there's a difference between the candidate and the politician. And the candidate with the rhetoric was all about the people. All of us are none, right? And then what we're seeing now is
the truth.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So go into it. You tell me your perspective.
I ain't expect them to go all out this fast, but maybe I'm so
it's March. It's March.
I'm so radicalized. Like one misstep, like one or two missteps. That's enough for me to be like, 3 steps, you're out. You're out of here. Get your ass out of here. Like, And you're doing this in the road, you know what I'm saying? And all these voice votes and shit like that. Like you being secretive. Y'all not even holding up power. Now you're saying, oh, well, we're going to introduce Medicare for all. One, Medicare for all was introduced in 2003, right? Medicare for all was introduced when Bernie Sanders was running. We know the fucking bill. We know.
Most people don't know that Medicare for all has been introduced every year since 2003.
If you don't know, go on Bernie Sanders' whole campaign page. This shit's still up. Go on the Green Party page. That shit's still up. Go on, Medicare for all got its own website. Go look at it. Why is it that we got the same tools, but you depend on me to give you this information? Mm-hmm. That is the problem with these people. They look for who can. I don't want to read. I want to watch this nigga say it. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I can put my own twist on it and you will believe it because you didn't read the actual factual shit. So just go by stats. Stop listening to, like even those stats have flaws in them, but I'm pretty sure they will be more accurate than me because I do have a bias. And I will spin the shit out of something, especially put Joe Biden name to it. I don't give a fuck. If he was feeding homeless kids pizza and ice cream, I'm going to spend that shit because I have a bias. Oh, what about our stimmies, nigga? You just cut them. You got enough money for ice cream. Let's stop acting like you ain't fucking dropped them bombs, son. I'm spending that shit. Right. He only doing this because he feel bad about killing them brown people. Nigga, I'll spend that shit. But yeah, fuck. Hold on, let me grab my water. One second.
All right, no problem. So one of the questions that I had. Now, Andy, feel free to jump in. I'm just picking Rome's brain here because we don't get to talk to him too much anymore.
No, I know. And the thing that I absolutely love about Rome is that he is honest about his opinions. He's not trying to, make it sound like he's one way or the other way, party doesn't matter. The D or the R doesn't matter. The color doesn't matter. It's what do we do to improve the lives of human beings in a place where they've been forgotten? And I'm not just talking about Detroit. I'm talking about the United States,
Yes.
right? That when you have an understanding of the capitalist society you live in, where of winners and losers, and the 0.001% are the winners and everybody else is the loser, then you have to come to an understanding, and you have to spread the word person to person in order to make sure that you're all on the same page. There's been brilliant things come from Rome where he talks about, I have more in common with the Trump supporter than I do with the Biden supporters.
Nice.
I have more in common with people that are poor, because I'm not going to assume that I know the reason why they wanted to support Donald Trump. I'm not going to believe the narrative that the mainstream media tells me that all Trump supporters are racist, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to make that.
I have black neighbors that secretly voted for Trump. They had to secretly vote for Trump. And I told them, like, be open about that shit. We know you lost your house to the NAFTA deal. We know that. We know you lost your job because of the NAFTA deal. And we know Donald Trump came up here. When he came up here campaigning in 2015, he came up to Michigan so many times. And sometimes he was kicking some real shit. Look how long Detroit has been ran by Democrats. What have they done for you? Y'all used to be the heartbeat of America. Now look, that's some real shit. And when you have people that hasn't really put one and two together, and they say, oh my God, that was the deal that, you know what? I'm voting for Trump. That's the type of shit that makes Trump powerful. These fucked up policies that drives our jobs and our homes and drive us out of our homes. They send our jobs to Mexico, China, everywhere but America. They're trying to save on these on their labor. And that's fucked up, because it's not only fucked up because they sending our jobs off. It's fucked up that they are sending these people that's in these third world countries, and I use that in quotation marks because this is a third world country, and I shouldn't speak like that. But they send these jobs off to third world countries and paying them slave labor. So all across the board, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. Shit that your grandmother and grandfather getting paid $25 an hour for, with benefits, they're getting paid $2.50 a day for it. That's fucking horrible. So we are not only we want these jobs back because we're being selfish. No, we need to prosper. When Detroit was doing good, Black people was doing good. Black people had somewhere to come to work. We had referrals. We can pull each other in once we get full time and get into these unions. A lot of older Black people don't even have high school diplomas, and they've been working in these plants since they was in 6th grade. And this is something this is all they know. This is how we put our family through. Ford and GM, Chrysler, shit like that. When all that left, it's like everything left. It's like Black people are disappearing in Detroit. Our homes are disappearing. Our people are disappearing. And what we are seeing from downtown to Mac Ave right now is gentrification. And I keep trying to warn people, look, if we don't get Black people back on their feet, if we don't get on the even playing field with at least each other, we're not going to be able to combat gentrification. So, like, that's one of my main things too. With this organization I'm going to be starting pretty soon, I'm going to be buying up land in Detroit, making sure that shit stay Detroit, because they're not about to come and just buy up fucking land, move my people out, take all the good water. We have the best water in the world. This is what they want. Detroit has some of the best land that you can grow your own plants on. This is what they want.
So,
it don't matter about
Rome, you said something that Andy, I don't know if you got this, but Rome is talking about entrepreneurship and starting businesses, particularly in the Black community.
Yeah.
You're
And moving
working on
off the US dollar. You move it makes no sense for us to still live off of the US dollar where only 15 people own most of it, have most of it. It's already showed off. They won the game over. Let's go, let's put in a new culture. It's over. We need to move off of the US dollar. This is the whole thing of me starting communes and tiny houses and jobs. We have to build resources in between each other and make it to where we can trade in between each other. Give a fuck about the sanctions that they're going to put on each other because we already build our neighborhoods. We already got protection and this is why I want to buy shit like rocket launchers and tanks and shit like that because people just don't understand, the moves that I'm planning on making pretty soon, and I'm gonna need protection. I'm gonna need my own army against this American government, just like how they bombed Tulsa, and just like how they did Detroit and fucking all these fucking black cities. Shit, I can't even make a fucking comparison, but shit, But for all of us to come together, under one as humans in America, like I don't give a fuck what the fuck you are, man. Just keep that shit to yourself. Be racist, be this, be that. But when we coming together to actually, we all have one thing in common. We don't like the government. And if that can be the middle ground that we can stand on to fight against this motherfucker, I'll fight the government with the racist motherfucker and then turn around and shoot the racist motherfucker after I'm done with that because the racist motherfucker ain't even my biggest threat. Not even close.
No.
Not even close. Because if he was, he wouldn't even be that close to me. He would have me go. He would have me going from a Rome Bethea, get him done.
Right. So, Andy, you did catch that, right? Because I know that you're working on a project where we're actually going to bring somebody in to talk about entrepreneurship and how to do it, particularly in the Black community. So,
yes.
I think there's an opportunity here, Rome, and we'd like to invite you to come back, particularly for that event. And then at some point, I'm going to finish this series where we're talking about sustainable building. So you and I have talked about my own personal project, building houses for next to nothing using local sustainable materials.
Yep.
This will help in Detroit too. So
yeah. See, the only problem with this is getting contracts as a communist in America. It's getting contracts for these communes with the city for water. That would be the only problem. But it's not a big problem if we can get eyes on it. If we can actually get people out here protesting for it and striking for whatever we need to do, we have to do it. But that will be an obstacle for this. But the only reason why I wanted to start over here is because of the land, that we can grow on. We can have, it might be cold here, but it's one of the best places to be if you want to make money, if you want to live off the grid, if you want to do whatever you need. We can have homeless people come from California, from Texas, and shit like that to live in these tiny houses to, build our jobs and shit like that. With this going on, with this, with us uniting like that, man, a whole bunch of poor people, they can't stop us, bro. Like a lot of these people are already gone off the grid. Like they probably on some missing person type shit, but they're not gonna be able to stop us, man. They're not gonna be able to stop us. They're not gonna kill us. They need us. I don't give a fuck what these motherfuckers talk about. They're gonna come and bomb us. Oh my God.
Right. So Rome, we're coming up on the top of the hour. So we got to let you go. I know that you're yeah. So I want to make sure that you get last thoughts in about this event coming up on Friday, and then we'll let you go to sleep. I know it's been a long day for you. So what do you want people to know? What do they need to bring? How do they support you?
Shit, you can bring your motherfucking ass.
Okay.
I personally don't need no more money. I don't believe I do. But I do need some more clothes. Bring some shoes. Bring whatever the fuck you want. Just come, help. You
And
know,
bring an open
find some
mind.
homeless people. If I don't see if enough homeless people don't come, put some shit in your trunk and take it downtown to the homeless shelters. Do whatever the fuck you can. Like it's gonna be on 6 Mile and Hayes. And if you a bitch ass nigga and you don't want to come out because Detroit's so scary, and you can stay your punk ass at home. But other than that, you know, we're gonna be out here, man. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna make sure it's a good time because I ain't playing that shit. But yeah, just come out, bring your ass. March 26th, this Friday, 3 to 6. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Bring your appetite and bring an open mind.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of hot dogs. I got beef hot dogs. I got pork hot dogs, sausages. I got patties. I got like 80 patties, 300 and some hot dogs, something like that. Everybody gets one.
Nice. So enough to feed a crowd. Andy, do you have that flyer for his? Can we put that up on screen?
Well, it just so happens that I do, Kerri.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful flyer. So
yeah.
So if you are in and around the Detroit area, show up on Friday. If you are not in and around the Detroit area, you follow Rome, help him out, or you can model what Rome is doing and do this in your own community, because that's really the heart of what this is about, right? People taking care of people, whether you agree with them or not.
I can come out to your city and help you out. You know, if you're trying to organize, I can come and try to help you out. You know, as long as we get enough money for the flight tickets and shit like that, I'll come and do what I can.
That's nice of you, Rome. It's nice. What a communist you are. A dirty communist.
Well, communism comes from community.
Oh, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So nice.
Imagine that, eh?
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Rome. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, brother.
No problem.
Talk to you later. So, yeah, absolutely. I love everything that Rome is doing. And what I like about Rome, like you said, Andy, is I don't necessarily agree with everything that he is pushing for, but I love that he's honest and his heart is in the right place. That, and he's probably one of the most intelligent speakers when it comes to macroeconomics and cause and effect, right? So most people are so stuck on the here and now, not really understanding how we got here. But Rome does. And it is my personal belief that is why he's constantly getting shut down on Twitter and on all these other platforms, because people don't like that. Here is this person, a Black man, who knows this stuff better than I do and can explain it, and it makes me feel mad or some type of way about it. And that's why they go after him.
Absolutely. No question. He is so well informed about, you know, his own space. And quite honestly, you know, of all the places in America that you could point to as, you know, being co-opted by capitalism and by neoliberalism, it's Michigan, right? It's people trying to survive, and it's nothing more than that. Like, we see that over the last better part of 2 decades, as Detroit has sunk into the quicksand, that the biggest industry is military recruitment, right? That are the military going into those cities, recruiting people to go fight in the Middle East because they have no other choice. They don't see a way out, right? Mm-hmm. That's in my mind. That's, you know, I without trying to speak badly of people that do that and choose to be soldiers, that's insult to injury, right? We're going to, this is the last resort. We want you to go over here and kill Black and brown people in other countries, and then we're going to ignore you when you get home, right? It's insane what is happening in the United States right now, right? that's why I absolutely love Rome's idea and how he's approaching this, right?
Mhm.
Come out. We want to help you. We have some clothes for you. We're going to feed you, but bring an open mind, and let's have a discussion about what we have in common as opposed to why we're different, right?
Absolutely.
And the second you do that, people realize, as I've said before, that people don't want to go bankrupt because of a medical condition. They don't want to go into student debt. They don't want to go hungry. They want to provide for their families because they love their families, right? People have more in common with one another, despite whether or not they have a D or an R beside their name, than they do with the elitist assholes that control everything and tell you that it's poor people's fault where you are now, right? And I think that's huge. And I hope that people will look at what Rome's doing as a template for their own communities to get together and understand how much more we have in common. And if we band together and listen to one another, we've got such a better chance of fighting the powers that control everything. It's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, I agree with everything that you just said. I have no pushback, but all right, so we're at the top of the hour now. It's time for us to get out of here, let everybody get back to their day. I do want to say that Friday, we may be able to catch up with Dre, who we had him on before this. And to me, he's a kid, but he's a grown man. I'm old. So
He's
yeah.
younger than us, so he's a kid. We can say
right. This young fella,
that. Yeah.
he's been doing some amazing stories. And so I was talking to him a little bit. I'm like, please come back on, because he did a story about homeless and a couple other topics that he had some really key points on it. I'm like, let's have that conversation, because he has such good insight, and he's really starting out, and I really want to help give him share his insights, I guess is what it was. I'm just a fan. I'm a big fan. So we're going to see if we can get Dre back on Friday. And then we may have an update next week. We're still working on this because we are journalists here. So I need to get the documentation and vetting for the Taos water protectors. They want to come back on and talk about some more issues, but I do fact checking and verify everything. So we're still working through some of that. Hopefully that we can have them on next week on Monday or Wednesday. So while it looks like, we just slapped something together, no, we're actually doing due diligence here to make sure that the information that we bring you is accurate. So look for that coming up. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in. And if you like what you saw today, please share it, because as we talked about, not only is it Rome getting suppressed, but most all of independent media is as well. And if you are not right now sponsoring an independent journalist or an independent network, please do so. And it doesn't have to be our network. Just pick the one you like the best. And I cannot stress how much $1 per month makes a huge difference and allows those networks and those journalists to continue doing what they're doing. And I'm telling you, from where I sit, it works, because we are actually bird dogging corporate news, and we are able to push back and bring you education and help you do the same thing. So we're kind of bringing them to heel, and it is absolutely working. So please consider supporting your favorite journalist or independent network, even if it's just $1.
Right. And when you support independent journalism, and people might say, well, why aren't you just advocating for your own? It's because when all of us are supported, it helps all of us, right? That we're doing this because we have to counter the narrative of mainstream media and the capitalist setup that is trying to keep us silent. So it's an all boats rise thing, right? It's the same thing. As we've talked about before, if you support one of us, you're supporting all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great exit message there. So thank you, Andy. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you on Friday. Thank you.
Take care.
We bout that, ayy. We in the zone, we out here, yeah. Spitting the facts, how it's supposed to be. Hair of the dog, we keeping it G.